All right. Another podcast, episode 8, with a very, very special guest. You guys won't believe who's in the studio today. Oh my God. I don't even recognize him anymore. I don't recognize him, buddy. What's happening? How you doing? Mark Salerno is in the house.
Thank you for having me.
Wow, thank you for coming, man.
I'm here.
You're here.
And I like that this is episode 8.
Episode 8.
Kobe Bryant, number 8. I like that.
Man, oh man, let's
sort of start things off here on a negative, but I'm going to leave all the questions to you. Beautiful studio.
Thank you, buddy.
Beautiful studio.
Thank you.
First time here, guys. I'm very impressed with the setup, to say the least.
Thank you.
Nothing that you do is short of amazing.
We go big or go hard.
Yes.
That's it, just like you.
Yes.
So
Why not?
So thanks for bringing in the coffee, buddy.
Thanks.
And we'll get started with some questions. So
this is I just want to say first, though, this is like an impromptu kind of podcast. This is last night, Mark. Let's do this. Let's do it. And
yeah, well, you said, Matt, you wanted to come by and pick something up. I'm like, dude,
let's do it.
Come on, let's do it.
Let's do it.
That's kind of the way.
Okay, I like it.
You haven't even been prepped. There's no questions. You don't know anything.
Today's rapid fire. Let's
Those are the best podcasts, though, right? Okay.
Raw.
So here we go. You ready?
Talk to me. Round one?
Round one, buddy.
Round one,
let's go.
Let's go. I didn't stretch.
All right. So tell us a little bit first, Mark Salerno. Who are you? What are you all about, man? For those of you that know you.
So for anybody who doesn't know me, I'm a real estate broker here in Vaughan, Ontario, Canada. And I've been in the business since 2006. Loving every second of it. This is a family bloodline real estate for the Salerno family.
Yeah.
Company goes back to 1970. So it's actually our 50th year in business.
Wow.
This year. So it's a big year for us mid-year. So very excited about that. Obviously, we did the rebranding last year. We were trading under Euromart Realty from 1980 till mid-2019.
Yeah.
And we switched back to Salerno Realty.
So let me ask you a question. How difficult was that for you to make that change? Because, I mean, I know it's carrying on your dad's legacy with...
I'll be honest. It was something from the beginning that I always knew was going to happen.
Yeah.
I guess and I probably should have done it right away, but I just didn't want to do it right away because coming into a position where it was like, okay, now you're the broker of record at a company, kind of just rebrand it, get it out there. It's the name that's been there for a while. It's already a big transition going from a big brokerage that was at Royal LePage prior.
Mm-hmm.
And then, who's this 24-year-old broker of record who's just coming out by myself, rebranding it to the residential market because my dad only sold land for the last, 30 years prior. And and then we decided over the last 2 years, I really started thinking about it more and more and came to fruition. I said, let's do it. Let's just make it happen. It was all in the transition of when we were switching the office. Right. So it was a good time from that aspect. And we went forward with it. And it was the best decision that we made. I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, I think you did a great job by making the change. And in hindsight, when you look at I know carrying the legacy of your dad, and you haven't lost it.
No, it's actually, to me, I felt like it was more because Euromart was, people always used to ask, like, what does Euromart mean?
That's what I was just going to say. I think you're actually putting it to your last name. You're actually carrying his legacy even more.
The problem was, Matt, you know that I'm not a brokerage that has 150 people at it, and I was branding two things. It was branding Salerno Real Estate, which was what I built online, and branding Euromart. And I had 2 websites, and we were only 5 people at the company. It was like, why am I doing this? Let's focus it all on one. Let's put it together and make it easy. And that's exactly what we did. Yeah, no, I mean, I think that was the best move that you did because, when you made the change to Salerno, like you said, you're using a lot of Instagram, all your hashtags and stuff. You had a little bit of both because it was at the point kind of confusing. So I think it was a good move. Yeah, I think you did a good job. We're happy with it.
And one of my questions I had for you actually was, and since you brought it up, carrying your dad's legacy and stuff, what, not to make it painful, but talk a little bit about your dad. I mean, both of our fathers have passed away, so we're, kind of carrying on.
So for me, I always was around real estate, obviously, and it was different because it's not like how my kids now see me, where it's like, daddy's doing an open house, there's daddy's for sale sign. I didn't really get to see that because at that point of his career, he was past the residential game and it was land deals. So you'd hear about, him talking to people and stuff like that. So real estate was always a big part of our family.
Right. Would that mean he's around more often because he's not doing residential, like with commercial?
Yes.
Right?
He definitely. And you got to remember too, when my dad passed, he was 69. So me and my dad were 41 years apart. So already, it's not like he was already in the latter part, and it wasn't retired. He's still working all the time. But when you're doing land deals, it's a little less frequent. Obviously, maybe you're doing a You know, there could have been a point where a deal happened and a deal didn't happen for 3 years.
Right.
You know, so like that's just really when you're only focusing on that. But I always wanted to get into real estate, and he did not want me to get into real estate.
Really?
He didn't.
Why? What's his reason?
Because he knows the hardships. It's a tough business, right? And not
people
to say
think it's
that,
all glam and glory.
Yeah,
man.
not to say that he made a living off of it, so he obviously did well with it. But I guess, you know, as a parent, you're concerned because there's no stability in this business. It could be where you go months, years without
people
doing
don't,
deals.
You know, people don't.
Everybody sees what, you know, online. It's like, you know, and on top of it, obviously with the way things are with social media and everything being in everybody's face right now, you know, it's a lot easier to make it look like, oh yeah, I am doing something, even if you're not, which is fine. But I guess it was one of those things where he was scared, like any parent for their child. And I finally got my license after a couple of attempts. I was 18, Matt. I went to write my exam, didn't even study. Thought I was going to go in there and blow it out, and I got 36% on my phase 1. And this is being recorded right now.
This is what I love, like honesty.
It's the truth. I was 18 years old, awesome. and then I was like, hey, if I'm actually going to pursue this, I'm going to have to study and do things properly. And then from that day forward, I went on and passed my exams. And when I got my license, I was excited. But now here comes the question. Your dad has a brokerage, but he's not in the residential sector. Can he provide you with mentorship? 100%, because he's been doing it for 40 years or whatever it was at that point. But he wanted me to work for somebody else because he goes, what are you going to do with me? And he was right. So he brought me to the first place. I hit it off with the first person I sat down with. His name's Jack Fusco. He's with Royal LePage still till this day.
Okay.
Awesome guy. He's a great mentor and a manager. And I started my career there. It took me 6 months to make my first deal. I want to make that apparent.
6 months.
6 months.
Okay, so I don't want to cut you off.
20 years old.
So because there's a lot of realtors that are out there that are getting into the industry and they think, oh, this is going to be great. And you went on 6 months. There's some going on for a year. No income coming in.
Yes.
What do you do?
So at the time, I was not 100% full-time either. Again, I'm 20 years old.
Yeah, okay.
You know, it's not like, look, just when you're 20, you barely even know what's going on. Your focuses are so much different than, you know, what someone who maybe is 25 or 30 or with the kids and a mortgage and stuff. I lived at home, so I had that luxury, you know, of not worrying about making the next mortgage payment. But saying that, anything that I was doing on the side, I stopped. And I said, you know what? If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this full time. I remember I did my first deal, my first ever check in this business.
Oh, let's hear it.
It was a lease for 650 big bucks.
Yes, I'm going to pay off all my credit cards.
In Brampton, Heart Lake. I remember that one. And then, like it was just nice to get that first check. I remember I framed it.
Yeah.
I lost it since, but I did frame it.
Okay.
My dad actually helped me get one of my first listings.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So it was pretty cool from that standpoint.
Yeah.
But then literally I was in the business end of 2006. So a couple of years passed, you know, I was building a good brand and for myself, and things were working. I was individual agent. I wasn't part of a team or anything. And then my dad got sick. And then that was the moment of truth. It's like, so what do you do? My dad had a stroke. He was no longer working. He was working on some mega deals when he had the stroke.
Land.
For example, Weston and 7, where now Centro condos are.
Oh, shit. No
My dad had that sold conditionally at the time. He was representing the sellers and the buyers there. So that was a deal where Cosmo was supposed to be. That deal was under conditional period. And this all happened. I was 24 years old when it happened. He was in the middle of, like, these deals were tied up conditionally, and that happened. And, you know, he had the stroke, so he was instantly hospitalized. And I made a shotgun decision to say, look, I'm getting my broker's license because I knew the end perspective wasn't going to go well. I didn't want to let the company go to waste. And I did what I did. And then, hey, fast forward now, 10 years later, it was in 2009, so 11 years later. And
here we are.
Here we are at Coffee Talk with Stallone Media. You know what I mean?
No, that's a great, I didn't know that. I had no idea that your dad was really big into the commercial side of
land.
Yeah. Well, I mean, back then, especially, that was big.
That was 2000 and
land was hard to come.
2009. Listen, now it's almost untouchable, and there's obviously it's not something I specialize in. Have I worked on land deals in the past? Yes, but it's not something I specialize in.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, I'm on the resale side of thing, and then we were talking before the start, starting to get into some of the new construction stuff, working with some builders coming up soon, which I'm excited about.
Yeah.
But now it's different from like 3 years ago, Matt, when I was by myself. Now I have a team.
More responsibility.
Now we have the brokerage, like the actual
The office. Yeah.
So it's a learning experience every day, and I'm enjoying every part of it. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
We just hired 2 new team members.
Nice.
That we brought on board. Good. So yeah, we're excited.
You know, it's one of those things where because I get this question asked, I'm sure you do often, is like, how do you build a team? How do you build a business? And it's
still learning.
Grinding out. You're still learning every day. You put the pieces of the puzzle. I call it a puzzle, right? You're putting the pieces of the puzzle together. You know, guys like Amazon, I mean, they're still figuring things out. They're still adding the stuff to their
The second that
portfolio.
you decide in anything you do in life that you think you have it all, and you're not willing and being receptive to learn, I think that's where a lot of people's downfalls are.
Yeah.
Well, I learn every day in this business, even till, like, God willing, I'm in this, you know, for as long as time goes for myself. But I learn every day still.
Yeah. I mean, like you just said, if you don't learn, you pretty much, you know, not only kill yourself off in a sense of mentally, what other passion are you going to really have, right? So, no, that's great. So one of the questions I had actually is, if you weren't in real estate, if you had a choice, you can magic wand and say you can do anything else but real estate.
Professional athlete.
Okay.
Like that's
which one?
Football.
Football.
I love football,
I had basketball. I had money on basketball.
Well, listen, if
really?
you were to ask me when I was younger, what was I most
right now.
successful at when I was playing? I would have said basketball when I was younger.
Okay.
Because I didn't really get the full opportunity to play football.
Yeah.
But if you ask me what I could be, I would have loved to be a football player.
Really?
Yeah, I love it. I'm a sports.
Who are you going for this
guru.
Sunday?
The Chiefs are going to annihilate San Francisco. Yes.
I just have I want to put money on the 49ers.
I have a look, and you know, the Niners have played very well the whole season. They're a surprise team. I was actually watching a video yesterday, and it said starting week 1 and week 2, they were at 1% chance to win the Super Bowl. So obviously the fact that they're there, they have a really good defense. I just think that the offensive firepower of KC is going to be a lot to keep up with. If KC is able to stop the run, which their defense has been playing incredible the last 6-7 weeks, San Fran's going to be in for a rude awakening. Well, we'll see. I'm not
honestly, I'm not a big football guy myself. My brother loves it. He watches it religiously.
Yeah.
But you know, I think I thought honestly I was going to say basketball. Because I know you love basketball so much, and unfortunately,
listen, I love basketball. I'm not saying no.
Yeah, I just didn't think you were a big football guy.
I'm a huge football guy.
Yeah,
football's my.
I mean, I see a lot of the stuff that you're hanging up.
Football and my basketball are my 2 favorite sports.
Okay,
hands down.
Because I saw in your office, I mean, you have a lot of memorabilia hanging up, and
it's basketball. It's basketball. Football,
that's why I thought.
And then my Montreal Canadiens, Patrick Roy.
So you touched on it before we started the show, but I mean, obviously, you know, the whole incident with Kobe and and everybody else. It's not just. You know, when I was posting some of the stuff that came on, I thought about it, and I'm like, there's people dying every day. Yeah. Incidents happen, you know, car accidents, families die. But why is this one so much more impactful than anybody else?
Matt, you know what? I was at the office when this happened, and I was just feeling so good, just in general. Like, I started now working in this notebook and writing down notes, and everything was good. And all of a sudden, I look at my phone, I get a message from a friend on Instagram. Yeah. I look at it, and it says Kobe Bryant died. And I'm like, okay, this is a joke. Obviously. I click into it, and I see TMZ, and it's verified. Yeah. I went into, like, shock. I actually went and posted a video on Instagram. Yeah. Like, I saw it. You saw it. I deleted it. Oh, yeah. Because I was dropping F-bombs like crazy because I was in utter shock. Like, I was tearing. Like, and I've never in my life has it impacted me. And I'm starting, like, you start to see this with a lot of people. Yeah. A celebrity / athlete's death has never really, personally, like, you feel bad, obviously, when people pass away, but, like, to the point where I'm tearing and, like, crying about it.
Yeah, I know.
And it was shocking. And then to hear about his daughter
on top of it,
you know, and then obviously 7 other people passed away. It's just a tragic thing because Kobe was the definition. And that's why, like, you see, I have his jersey, his sign thing. Like, he's like one of the top athletes I've ever idolized, right? And it's that Mamba mentality, bro. Yeah. He just had to be perfect. Yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, put 150% into it. And, like, that's, like, it was weird because, like, even after I put on my story, like, whenever I post motivational, like, content, typically the hashtags I use is Mamba mentality and strive for greatness, which is LeBron's. Yeah. So it came by shock, and it really put me in a position, like, I've lost my father, I've lost my brother, I've lost people of importance in my life. And every time someone dies, like, you really sit back and appreciate and you really look at things and, like, for example, see a guy like Kobe go and his daughter in one shot. It's like, dude, we're here today. Tomorrow is not promised. 20 minutes is not promised for anybody. So just be good to people. At the end of the day, just live a good life. Be good to people. Show respect. Be honorable in what you do. And I'm a big believer in karma. Yeah. It's very important. And looks, unfortunately, sometimes the good ones go early.
And then I heard that whole, he was at church in the morning with his daughter, and I'm like, and then I go back to the religious side. I'm like, okay, everyone talks about God and these God. I'm like, okay, but he just went to church in the morning. Yeah. Why would God do something like that to him? Then you question your faith.
Look, whenever stuff like this happens, faith gets tested no matter what. But Matt, I'm a believer in this, and it really, when my dad passed, is really when it really hit me, because I thought, like, my dad was the most powerful guy in the world. What could ever happen to him? Then the stroke happens, then he passes, and it's like, no matter what, everybody has an expiry date. Yep. And I don't want to say it's predetermined, because choices in life can bring forward
quicker. Yeah.
But I really believe that everybody has a destiny, and things happen for whatever reason it is. Things happen for a reason. Yeah. So I always try, and
you won't know what it is.
Faith part about it, again, like, depends on what your faith is and who you believe in and the gods and all that stuff. But I have to believe that God has a plan for everybody, because my faith makes me believe that. Yeah. And you got to accept it for what it is at the end of the day. And again, it's very, very, very unfortunate about the whole Kobe thing. And it's a world. This is a world.
It is. It's pretty impactful.
It's very impactful for the world right now.
And not to, again, diminish the other people that were lost in that
100%
accident. But I think the only, if I can say, positive side, like you're just saying, what comes out of something, something happens for a reason. I think for me, it kind of makes you, again, appreciate life today, people that you have in your life, and really appreciate the fact that you don't have a choice of when it's your time to go.
I agree.
So make the most out of it as you can. And I think for a lot of people, that's touched a lot of people. You see this, dad girl thing out that's now. And, I know you have 2 daughters and I have a daughter. And it just kind of, whether it's a daughter or son, doesn't matter. It's just kids in general.
Kids in general, yeah.
It just kind of makes you look at your family, look at the people around you, and you're like...
I came home that night from the office. It was about 2-3 hours after it happened, and I just saw my kids, and I just started bawling, hugging them. And it's like... you can't imagine, because I started envisioning, like,
of course,
like that
human nature
play out
of
what
would happen
how that
to
went
them.
down, right? And I'm like, it must have been mortifying to know that you're going down, you got your kid with you, and it's like, all you could say is, baby, it's going to be okay. Yeah. And that's it, right? And it's just, it's a very unfortunate thing, but again, like, I hope this is something that the world can look at and build off of, and, it changes people's perceptions, because I've never seen a death like this really affect as many people as it has, like, worldwide. This is... It's pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, there's, you have, like, somebody like Michael Jackson when he passed away, or,
Prince passed
Princess
away. Diana, these big...
Princess Diana was actually a pretty big one for a lot of people.
Huge. It was huge.
So another question I go back to is, don't you find that when these certain celebrities or famous people that are very good to other people, it seems more impactful to everybody, because it's like, this guy was such a nice guy or such a nice woman. Like, why?
It's because you see, like, especially this one here, you tie in, it's like Gigi was like the prodigy of Kobe. Yeah. They said straight up, like, she was better than him than when he was at that age. And she was like the mirror split of him. And Kobe obviously, like, had this impeccable career as an athlete, but now look, as from a business side of things, he's 41 years old, ready to start a next chapter. And that mentality that he had of, being a champion was being carried over into the business world. And he used to tell me, like, if I go for something, look, guy won an Oscar. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, like, it's just, again, it's a lot of what ifs. Yeah. And again, people die every day.
Yeah, they do. Sad. It's just this one, like you said, it's kind of really impactful for a lot of people. So, okay, so let's switch topics up over here. What gains the respect for Mark when it comes to dealing with you as a realtor or dealing with other people as a realtor?
Yeah.
What's the biggest?
You know what, Matt? Are we talking dealing with other realtors?
We're going to talk with dealing with other realtors, and then in general, you'll have in general. Because there's 2 parts to it, right? I mean, in general, if you're a good person.
Yeah, like for me, I'm a very straight shooter. What you see is what you get. Yeah. I'm very good to people. And I like to, I've grown up on I guess it's the old school mentality from my dad. It's like I could work on a handshake with somebody. Yeah, 100%. Like, honestly.
That's very rare nowadays.
Like, and those days are done. You know what I mean? But that's how I feel. And like, and I tell clients this, and I tell people, I'm not the kind of guy that like to be crossed. Like, and if you do, it's like that. I remember it. And I'm not a type of person who likes to hold grudges with anybody, because for me, having good relationships with people is better than having sour ones where if you see someone, you can't even say hi to them. I do not have any of those in my life. I'm very thankful for that. But when it comes to business, professionalism is number one. If we are sitting at a table, because you know what? When you're a seasoned person in this business and you've been around the block, there's people who are coming in the business right now, and the focus is, I just got to get this deal done. Doesn't matter what I have to do, who I have to screw over to get it done. I'm going to do that. That's a horrible way of doing business. It
won't last long.
You build reputation at that point, and it's a bad reputation. Yeah. So I like the fact that I feel like I can walk into any room with my head high, knowing I do good business for people. And I expect that in return, because, there's a time to be friends, even with clients. Like, I'm friends with my clients, but there's a time to be friends and there's a time for business.
Yeah. And sometimes you have to,
and you got to
not be a friend and say certain things.
And you got to just be being truthful with everybody. And that's how I built my business to where we have, like, I don't sit on the back of saying, hey, I work for a company that's got, a brokerage and wherever, right? Yeah. And across the world. No, I'm myself. And we're a small boutique brokerage, and we built a following and a liking on trust. And I love it, Matt. When people message me, especially on Instagram, they message me and they're like, Mark, look, I just want to send you this message. I look up to the way that you do your business and how humble you are and how you do your business. And I can see that pride in what you do. You care. And that for me is everything. Yeah. It's everything at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, there's no hands down about it there when it comes to showing your passion and what you do. Yeah. I mean, there's I work with other realtors and a lot of them that but hands down, I get the same thing. It's, a lot of people that talk highly about you and you're a good guy and it's all been positive. Yeah. And then sometimes you're going to kind of get involved with people, and even in my industry, in any industry, that you don't have to be kind of hateful towards them, but you know what, I just don't really need to I keep my distance. I don't need to.
Look, business for me is everything. So like, even if I have a situation where I have, a bad business dealing with somebody, where someone's done something that I'm not taking a liking to. Yeah. But I have a listing, and for example, we have to deal with other realtors, and if that person has to call me about business, I'm not going to let my feelings get in the way of what I have to do. And my job is selling that house, for example. If I'm a listing agent, they have a buyer for it. Do I have to be friends with the people? No, I don't. At the end of the day, But luckily, 99.9% of the business.
This is where you knock on wood. Yeah.
No, 99, because it's not 100. But 99.9% of the business. I love dealing with realtors. We all work together. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so it's, I've been blessed so far in this business, and I'm very happy with the dealings I've had with a lot of people over the last 14, 15 years.
No, that's fantastic. I mean, I see it too with, obviously with your Instagram and your social media side of it, and growing, obviously, like you have the new office that you expanded to, which is great to see. Yeah. Seeing growth in people is rewarding.
Yeah, 100%.
Helping people is also a rewarding thing. So, it's fantastic. One of the other things I had to ask you, buddy, was where are the plans for Salerno Real Estate now going forward? Because you moved into the office. Yeah. It's a big move.
It's definitely a big move. I think it's something we needed. We like, we enjoy Kleinburg. We do a lot of work in Kleinburg. We do a lot of work everywhere. It's not to say that, hey, we only sell in Kleinburg, but
I saw one of your postings, and it's like, we don't just sell high-end luxury. We also do the small stuff. So,
for sure.
How do you get that out there too?
Well, obviously, people, they'll look at my Instagram and they'll say, wow, a lot of luxury homes, a lot of nice houses. Yes, there are a lot. Do we sell a lot of luxury homes? Yeah, we do. Like, our average sale price last year was $1.3 million for our transactions. But we do everything, Matt. Like, and this just goes back to that grind mentality. And people see this, fine. We rent basement apartments for people. Yeah. Am I actively trying to prospect basement apartment rentals? No. Right. But if a client comes to me and says, hey, Mark,
would you do it?
Can you rent out my 1-bedroom condo for me? Yeah. We would love to. Yeah. Because there's no business I'll turn down. Matt, when I got into this business, one of my first deals I ever did, I drove 3.5 hours north for a $140,000 deal. Not big commissions, but client needed service. I am in a service business. I will always do anything we can for our clients. This is like, now fast forward to 2017 during the whole run of the market. quick little story. Again, it's important because that's, I don't want to say that stigma of we don't do certain business. Now that I've built a team, obviously on a side note, also I was by myself at the time, but I had team members, so we're capable of handling everything. But I took a deal out in Lawrence Avenue East in Scarborough in 2017. At the beginning, I used to play indoor football in my latter mid-20s.
Okay.
That one year I made the comeback
okay.
where I said, let's try and make a run at it. But anyway, long story short, convener from the league called me and said, Mark, one of the guys we played with is in some trouble. He's going to lose his condo. Some agent had it on the market. So I said, let me look into it. So this agent had the listing agreement signed, knowingly that he was going to lose it if he didn't sell it within a certain amount of time. Didn't list it. Signed the agreement. Did not MLS it. She goes, oh, there's no point of MLSing. I called her because I got involved at this point, and I said, look, where's the listing? She goes, oh, I never put it up. I said, why didn't you put it up? She goes, my client, I said, the seller thinks that like his place is on the market. She goes, it's not going to get that kind of money, and he's just going to lose it anyway. I said, are you kidding me right now? So I told her, I said, you are going to mutually release the deal that you forgot to upload 3 weeks ago, and I'm going to take over the listing. He wants me to sell the place. She goes, you're not going to sell it. Good luck. I said, no problem. Put it to the market, Matt. Imagine 1,100 square feet in Toronto for a list price of $120K. It's not the best neighborhood in the world. I went there that night to go get the listing signed, and I'm going to be completely frank with you. I was shitting my pants. Excuse my language. I pulled into the parking lot, and I went in there at 8:30 at night, pulled into the parking lot, and when I pulled into the parking lot, I sat there and I said, should I be doing this? Like, I was scared. I'm not going to lie. And like, it's just being completely honest.
Yeah.
I said, okay, Mark, just like get out of the car, walk inside.
Right.
And I went in, met the client, showed me the place. It was rough. The building was rough. The area was rough, obviously. But the fact that he wasn't getting an opportunity is what I couldn't sleep with myself if I would have turned away from this, Matt.
Yeah.
And I put it to the market at $120K. I sold it within 2 weeks for $113,000. Okay. He was able to pay off everything he was in the arrears, and he was left with $1,000, but he didn't have to file bankruptcy.
Wow. That's a great
But that
story.
agent told him it was worth $60K. You get what I'm saying?
That's yeah.
So all I'm saying is, like, people always look, and there's so many great realtors in this business to deal with. And I'm not sitting here saying, oh, I'm the best and trying to win everybody's business. It's not what I'm trying to do. But be informed with what you're doing. I got called to a house yesterday where someone said, Mark, I had my friend list that she just got her license. Had my friend list the house you saw was on the market for a year. It couldn't sell. I was misguided from the beginning, and now I need a professional to come in. So it's very easy to say, hey, my friend's going to sell you my house for me for 1%. And
I know, that's the worst.
There's a lot of money. This is people's most valuable,
biggest asset
is your home.
100%.
You would like to think, right? And just make sure you're putting it in the professional's hands.
Yeah. So let's leave some information here for some of your potential future clients and stuff that in the past. What's the biggest, if you can say, the top 3 things that people looking to sell their house should do? What are the top 3 things they should do?
What should they do?
What should they do?
And
then we have to get back to what are you going to do with Salerno, because we got off of that topic a little bit, but it's okay.
I tend to ramble.
So do I.
My listing presentations take like an hour and a half. People must hate me.
It's okay.
I like to talk a lot. So sorry, repeat that question.
Top 3 things, if you're looking to sell your house, that you would recommend that they do based on your experience.
So there's a lot of things. And the first thing I would say is what I just touched on, hire the right person.
Okay.
And when I say that, bring in 3 or 4 different realtors. I tell people, even if I'm the first person at the table, I want you to sit down with another 2 or 3 people before making your decision, because I want you to see what everybody has to offer.
And hold them accountable to it too.
100%. And again, like, there's certain questions that go along with that, but that's number one, is finding the right realtor. And the right realtor maybe sometimes might not be the most qualified person, but you may feel that that's the best chemistry with that person. So everything, like, I'm a guy on feel. Like, that's how I my whole life. I go with my gut feeling at the end of the day, right? You have to make informed decisions. But first is the realtor, step 1. Step 2, the actual process of making sure your home is ready to sell. I go into people's listings and I tell them, if I have paperwork with me, if you told me to put your house on the market tomorrow, and that was my only option, and otherwise I wouldn't get the listing, if it wasn't to the criteria of the kind of bar that we've set for all of our business, I won't take the listing. It's not beneficial to anybody, to me, to you, to anyone, because if I'm going into a house that potentially may need a paint job or needs to be staged or just anything.
First impressions, right?
First impression is everything. And for me, what's the goal as a realtor, really, at the end of the day, and as a homeowner? The goal is to sell my property for as much money as possible, as fast as possible. Because
I want to be clear, you don't say as fast as possible because it's...
Did you hear what I said
first?
first?
Yes, I know.
I said
I just want to make sure everybody else hears this.
As much money as possible,
yeah,
and as fast as possible. When I say as fast as possible, the reason why I say is, let's call a spade a spade. People hate having their home on the market. They hate having random people trek through their house every single day.
Yeah.
So if I could sell my house for as much money as possible, as fast as possible, you're doing the best job possible.
Yeah.
And hey,
the reason why I said that was because there's some people that are out there that want to sell it as fast as they can, but it's not for the best interest of...
It's for the best interest
of themselves,
of the
realtor, and to say fastest. So I just want to make that very, very clear. And I know that about you. So, but going back to the tips. So the other tip was...
So first would be realtor.
Yep.
Second would be presentation.
Okay.
And third would be, as a seller, when you're selling, I think you have to take the emotional side out of things. It's very important.
Yeah.
Okay. And take the advice from your realtor. Again, the way I like to do things when I sit at a table, if a homeowner wants $2 million for their property, but I think it's worth 1.6, I'm going to tell them what I think. And I'm going to be honest, because I don't want to have that conversation a month from now, 2 months from now, of saying, hey, Mark, you're here telling me today to drop my price to 1.6.
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell me this at the beginning?
Right.
I'll never run into those situations because I'll stand by the quote I give off the hop, just so we're on the same playing field. It's not to say I won't take a listing that's a little bit higher price than I thought, as long as the homeowner,
is willing to move.
Because hey, you just never know at the end of the day. I can give you comps and I can tell you everything, and I'd like to think most of the time I can narrow it really close to where it is, but sometimes there are different situations. But the advice would be to price it properly the first time.
Yeah. I think one of the worst things for you guys in general is when you get a listing and then you lose it, and only to find out that they relisted it with someone else at a $200,000 discount.
Look, it's going to happen, Matt. I pick up listings that way. I lose, listings that way. It's part of being in the business. When you're doing X amount of deals a year, it's different. If you're doing 3 deals a year and it's happening to you,
3 times,
might want to have to recalculate how you calibrate your listing presentation.
Yeah.
But it's different if you have a thing from a homeowner say, no, this is it, this is my bottom, and then all of a sudden the rug gets pointed, like, why didn't you do it with me?
Yeah.
Listen, you can't get offended. One thing I have to say, and it took me a long time. It did. I've been in the business now 15 years. You can't get offended by anything. And honestly, you really have to develop that, because a new agent, would say, oh, I bought a condo with this guy, for example. He's my client for life. Nobody's your client for life.
Yeah.
That's just straight up. For that transaction, they were your client.
Yeah.
They could use whoever they want in the future.
Yeah.
Would it be nice if they repeated the business with you? Yeah, it's our goal. Yeah. I try and build repeat business, but you can't get offended if they decide that they want to sell their house with somebody else.
Yeah.
That's a veteran agent who can understand stuff
Experience,
like that.
Though, right?
Because it comes and it goes like that.
Yeah.
So you can't get offended and create problems and animosity with other realtors and stuff like that. It is what it is.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I have good friends of mine who are realtors that I've done business that maybe was with someone, and they've done business back with someone I did business. It's part of life and part of the game.
Good one. All right. Man. So next one, last one.
Yes.
The tip in the house, cosmetically, because I know
Matt,
one big one for you is paint. Pot lights. Pot lights are the biggest thing for Mark Salerno.
To me, it adds a shit ton of value to the outside of a house, because again, we talk about first impressions.
It's also inside too, because I know you do both.
Yes, but first impressions, I love houses when they have pot lights on the outside. And I'll never forget, I had a listing. It was a family member's 7 years ago, and it was a $3 million house, and it was a corner house. And I suggested to him, I said, this house with pot lights would look insanely nice. I'm not investing the money. And I was like, you're selling your house for $3 million. You don't want to put $2,500, $3,000 outside of this house.
Yeah.
It's a game changer. People pull up at night, especially 100%. Here, in the winter, it's 5:30, 6 o'clock getting dark, and people are seeing houses at night.
Yeah.
Drive up, pot lights. Oh my God.
First impression.
That 40-year-old house looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
so that's a great tip. I would tell people exterior pot lights, number one, are huge. Look, interior lighting in general, I like. You know that.
I know. And you always want them on.
Yes.
Yes. No, I mean, that's a big one. I know because I remember one of the houses that we shot for you, you're like, hold on, Matt, we can't do a Twilight because I got to get pot lights put on in this house. And you actually...
I did it.
You did it for them. Yeah, you didn't expect the homeowner to do it, which, I mean, kudos, that was awesome.
I did it for them. We sold that house. That was a record sale in West Woodbridge at the
time.
time.
I remember. And it looked so much better. I mean...
Like game-changing. I've done it many times.
Well, I know.
Stop telling everybody that.
A lot of the Twilights. But like, on all honesty, like when you look at a house, when I go to shoot it with Twilights, if it doesn't have pot lights,
it's not the same.
Total different outlook.
And the thing is, every house, like, we were talking about what should homeowners do. Every house is different. I was just literally, before I came here, I was just at a house I was telling you just got the listing for, and I said, look, every house is different. Yeah. Some houses need more than others. So packages get created differently. Like, when you're selling your knockout package or you're selling your HDR package, it's different because certain products cater different ways.
Different things.
But as a realtor, I think no matter what you should be doing, whatever your product is, again, it's a lease project. And Matt, for us, we take professional photos at our leases. Yeah. It could eat up 20% of the cost of what I can make on it, but it's going to look good. Yeah. So my thing as a realtor, and my advice to any other realtors out there, aside from homeowners, would be do whatever you have to do until your listing is sold. Mm-hmm. So if that means that you have to update the exterior photos 3 times because it was snowing and then some snow melted and the driveway is now visible,
better, you can see
or now the grass melted, stay on top of it. Don't be cheap. Yeah. Don't be cheap.
It's so incremental.
It's so dumb. It doesn't make any sense why you wouldn't do it. Yeah. So just do whatever you can for your listing.
Not only does it help you, get the getting it sold, but it makes you also look better, like you're a really true caring realtor for your home. Yeah. For your client's home.
Let's fast forward because we're in February. Not yet, but it's January 31st. Tomorrow it's February. But what's going to happen in 3 months in, let's say, April, May, there's listings that were coming out in January, February with snow outside. Yep. I guarantee it because I see it every year and it makes me cringe. On MLS, it's May. There's no snow for the last month, but that listing still has snow on it. How many listings of mine in the past have you redone Twilights? Forget about regular photos because it was snow.
I can't say many because you've sold most of them in a good timely manner, but the ones that you have...
The ones that we prepped where I thought, hey, let's have the Twilight just in case we go to the market right now. We didn't. For example, Richmond Hill, the other Dean place, we shot it in January because we thought maybe, but guess what? That maybe didn't come, and we reshot it when we went to the market in June. Yes, is it a cost? Yes. Is it a wasted cost? Potentially. You could look at it like that if you're someone who says, I don't like to invest money, but if I had to be ready, I was ready. Yeah. Right,
and that's just it makes you stand apart from the other realtors.
It's the key.
100%.
It's the key.
So that's awesome. Yeah. So let's finish off with future goals for Salerno Real Estate. You have 4 team members. You plan on getting any more? You stay small, boutique?
We're always going to stay small and boutique. Okay. I can never see myself being a company of like 20, 30, 40 people. That's not the plans. I'm very hands-on. I'm not in that managerial position. I sell. I'm on the floor. I'm at the house. I'm out and about. So I would never want to do that. And just, again, I've prided myself on being a boutique-style brokerage. So if I were to see where are we going in the future, again, I'd like to think we'll always be at a max kind of 10 cap for our realtors. I've been approached, especially with social media, over the last year and a half. I'd say close to 100 people at least who have approached. Yeah. And these 2 rising stars that we're bringing in right now are 2 of the first that I've actually hired. So I'm curious. Let's go step by step. Fair enough, steps. Right? Baby steps. Let's build everybody.
That's how you build a business.
We are going in different, like, for example, one of the guys I brought in is specifically for pre-con. Okay. So we're going to now start trying to cater to pre-construction condos. So he's going to be, hey, I got all the pre-construction information available. Let's start advertising it. Let's dip our feet into that water. Again, I was telling you about we're doing some stuff with some builders now. So we're very excited at all these opportunities that are coming up.
Different avenues that you get to tackle now, which
for sure
building the business. So, buddy, that is awesome.
Thanks for having me in today, man.
Oh no, listen, guys. For those of you that don't know, I started with Mark 2016 with the Edenville. Edenville, such a gorgeous house. And then we had the Lambo there.
Yeah, sick
and we've both built our businesses and grown from it, and it's fantastic to see.
Yeah, we've been a part of each other's business. So I thank you for everything you've done for me, also, Matt. No, and look, even before we sign off, like, even the one thing I wanna say about you, and I really appreciate, for example, that my business has grown a lot. So I cater that I need certain extra attention, for example. So we had the discussion about a year and a half ago, and I'm like, Matt, I'm thinking of bringing someone in to help me out with like video. And you could have been so negative about it, saying, you know, Mark, you do that and we're done, for example. But you were there, you help, you teach, and I want to thank you for that. I really do. I respect that, and that's why we're still here today doing what we're doing, man. Well, it's a friendship. It's a business relationship, and you've helped me with my business, so thank you for that, man.
I appreciate it.
I really appreciate it.
Kudos, buddy. I really feel the same way.
Yeah. Cheers to the coffee talk on that one, man.
That was appreciate it. You know, and it's just to kind of touch on that, for me, like I've always said, I want to see you succeed.
Yeah.
And from a business perspective, I could have did something with you, could have made a deal, but it honestly wouldn't have been as effective for you.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I said to you, Mark, if you're gonna want somebody hands-on, behind the scenes, doing all that stuff,
you need somebody.
You need
somebody in house.
You look at guys like Ryan Sarenhard and Gary V. I mean, those guys all have. They have in-house, but it's a big cost.
Listen, it's a big cost, and again, like look at the studio we're in right now.
Yeah.
Serious real deal Holyfield, actually real deal Stallone, you know what I mean? So it's again, I want to just thank you for that, and thank you for the continued support that you've given me from the beginning. And I love seeing people do well, and I love seeing you crush in the game, and it really makes me happy because I really believe that you help realtors, Matt.
Thank you.
So keep doing that for people. Keep helping all these inspired photographers and videographers, and I see all the stuff you're doing, the tutorial stuff. I'm actually going to tell my my new guy, like, because again, you teach. I said, hey, I'm going to get him to show you how to take some night photos because you do these classes. Like, you're just, Matt, you're the package, man. So
thank you, buddy.
Keep that standard up for everybody.
I don't know what to say.
It's the truth. I speak the truth, man. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. I tell you the truth, man.
Thank you.
I tell everybody that you are a one of a kind at the craft, and just keep building it. Again, you have this amazing team with you, and putting out quality content, man.
Thanks, man.
Keep it going.
I'm kind of speechless right now. He just totally crushed it on that. Thanks, man. You know, it's rewarding for me to know that you feel like that. And honestly, for going back to that question about respect, you just hit it on the nose.
Yeah, for man. Me. Matt, that's what it's all about, bro. So thank you very much for everything you've done, everything you continue to do, and
dude, that's
where's the
that's it.
There it is. We're done.